Welcome to StratoLens. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the commitment utilization and commitment recommendation system. These systems are designed to identify underutilized or expiring reservations and savings plans. They will also make recommendations for savings plans or reservations that you could purchase to help reduce your costs in Azure. It's often easy to forget about your reservations and reserved instances, and if you're not using them, you're wasting money. Use StratoLens to find out where you can save. StratoLens automatically scans your environment, as we've discussed in other videos. In this demonstration video, I've populated our commitment utilization and commitment recommendations with some test data to make the dashboards more interesting. Let's take a look. Start by heading to the cost section on the left and then into commitments. On this screen, we'll get a full list of all reserved instances and savings plans, along with a bunch of callouts. On the top, we can see our overall utilization. So across the past 30 days, we've only used about 62% of our reserved instances and savings plans. We have a significant amount of wastage. Our commitment spending is $46,000, and we're wasting $17,000 a month because we're not fully utilizing all our reserved instances and savings plans. We also have a few reserved instances and savings plans that are expiring soon. Those are called out at the top. If you're properly using these, you should definitely plan to renew them. In the bottom section, you'll see an entire list of every reserved instance and savings plan in your environment. By default, we hide any that are expired, but you can uncheck the box and you can see some historical ones. In these rows, you have the name of the reserved instance, the counts, the SKU, the term, the expiration date, and then your current utilization over the past 30 days. You can also use the drop-down at the top to filter this utilization to show 7 or 1 day histories. On the far right column, you'll see the total monthly costs. And then on the bottom section, you can see Utilization-by-service, and this will give you an overview of your total virtual machines, compute, and SQL databases, for example. This is a good way to identify unused reservations. For example, this reserved instance is really not being used very well. It might be worth adjusting. Savings plans can't really be adjusted after they're purchased, but reserved instances can. Looking at a dashboard is great, but sometimes we need callouts on actions to take, and that's where the recommendation system comes in. Under commitments here, we'll see several types of recommendations that are color-coded. Green recommendations indicate Azure's telling you, hey, you've been using this resource a lot, maybe consider getting a reserved instance. It'll save you some money. Orange recommendations call out underutilized reserved instances and savings plans. We saw in the commitment section, there's a bunch of underutilized reserved instances. This is telling you what your waste is. And finally, red recommendations are expiring soon. These are reserved instances and savings plans that are about to expire, and you might want to consider renewing, otherwise your costs may jump. You can customize all these thresholds in the scanner settings under the commitment coverage section. You can specify how far to look back for underutilized reservations, what percentage is considered underutilized, and then also the window of time under which you want to get notified about commitments expiring soon. Finding out about these underutilized resource reservations is important. That's why email notifications exist. Let's create an email notification to get notified as soon as a new underutilized reservation or savings plan is detected. In the alert type section down at the bottom, you can specify the different types of alerts you can receive. This video is talking about commitment coverage, so let's enable it. You can also specify the minimum savings amount so that the alerts for recommendations for commitments are filtered. For example, set this to 100 to only receive commitment recommendation emails when they recommend $100 in savings or more. Now with this email address and notification system set up, you'll get emailed anytime a new commitment recommendation comes in, including expiring soon, underutilized, or recommendations totaling more than $100. This recommendation, for example, would not generate an email. StratoLens is now available on the Azure Marketplace. Visit www.strato-lens.com to learn more. Thanks for watching.